So I have this friend named Mark, big into rock climbing, even helped break out the scene in the '70s in Arizona. I get the fun of rock climbing, but not really the life-risking, no ropes, days to weeks-long endeavor stuck on mountainsides. It seems like thrill-seeking at high risk and little more. But when Mark visited recently and popped on a climbing documentary, I heard story after story of those who simply wanted to raise the standard of what was possible, and that was all the prize they needed. Now I remember back before I had a family, when I had another job, and this was just a hobby. We've got a few more things to sell now, sure, but I have a family now, and both Kat and I quit our jobs to dedicate ourselves to these efforts, our entire lives. I remember why I enjoyed this so much at the beginning. No website, no books, no need to make a career out of this. People still marveled at solar flares. People were absolutely certain Nibiru was coming, or that 2012 was the end, or any other number of things you still hear from the darker corners of this community. People still hated it when we debunked the nonsense that makes us all look bad. Most are quick to get excited and are perpetually short on common sense. Now, despite the reactions, I got no less pleasure from debunking videos than others that everyone seemed to love. It's not easy to demonstrate the flaws of the thinking that so many newly awakened minds fall into, and it's not easy to sit there and watch concrete attempts to inform go lost on some who simply want to see an enemy or threat wherever they can. We debunk the nonsense because it is hard. It is easy to pander. It is easy to find a fuzzy photo or something ion related on a satellite image and fool people into thinking it's something else. Or pulling the ever-clever, you make up your own mind. One of the favorite preachings of this community, and yet I've never seen a video asking you to make up your own mind that didn't overtly suggest your decision in the video content. Let's be honest, it's a complete joke of a preaching. Nobody spends time doing this without a point to be made. And while I've had many points I've tried to make in videos, there has always been the concept of wanting to raise the standard. Why debunk if half my viewers will be angry? Because it's the right thing to do. Because there are diamonds here and we should stop piling on the rough. You know, it took about 5 minutes the day I woke up to know I love this community. And that is why observers make the hard decisions. That is why I refuse to settle for make up your own mind and unsubstantiated look at this headlines. I refuse to sit in place and spin circles for years. People discuss theories all the time online in this community. How many groups actually make progress in science, get published, convince Tier 1 scientists that things aren't what they were told? I'm going to be a jerk once again now and upset many of you by means of leaving humility at the door. I know no other way to do this. Sure, there were a number of communities that said dark matter searches would fail. Still, not a shining moment for the mainstream, but not like we stood alone on an island on that one. But let's combine that with the fact that our first electroquake video was in 2013, and now, a year after our electric real-world seismic forecasting model hit operation, NASA and ETH Zurich announced plans to use electric currents and anomalies to predict earthquakes. Then add on that the fact that with top geophysicists on Earth insisting the sun couldn't be a modulator of earthquakes, a statistics professor from Ohio State and NASA scientist Kongpa Buyen were so convinced by the data, they wanted to co-author the paper. Add on that the fact that the students we inspire win national championships like Ferris Wald for his work this year on the sun and tropical cyclones, and a big picture begins to be painted. I'm just going to come right out and say it. You can be upset if you want to. There is no other group that can make these claims. Not alternative, not mainstream. The observers have come together to not only demonstrate the power of 300,000 people working towards one goal, but to raise the standard within this community. People barely cited their sources back in 2011, and they certainly didn't break ground and foresee the future of science like this. It has been 5 years, and an amazing 5 years at that. We have all been underestimated, called crazy or worse, doubted, threatened, and more. I don't hear so much of that doubt these days. Too many Tier 1 scientists have already eaten their words over it. I wonder if you will all forgive me. The ace is still hidden up my sleeve until I have proof. The next 5 years. Now that's going to be fun.